There we go. I do believe we're live. Of course, there's a doggo already on me. No! Don't lick my face, bro. You can't do that. We don't do that. We don't lick my face. We don't do that. You stink. You stink a lot. You stink a lot, though. You stink like dog. Licking my face. Can you believe it? The audacity. Better not believe it. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me. We are here, we are present, and it is nice to spend the moment with you, beloved friends. Today's stream topic is about illusion. I had a moment today where I was reflecting on the old versions of me, specifically when I was a child, right? Like 13, 12-year-old, 13-year-old kind of child. And I was almost recanting, reconsidering some of the illusions, some of the delusions I entertained at that point in my life. And it was interesting for me to see today how things have changed, right? How the delusions I used to have are no longer with me in the same way. And I'm happy about this. There definitely is a lot happening in the world right now, and you would be ignorant, naive, one of the two, to believe that it is not real, right? To believe that it's all an illusion. You probably have seen the amount of tariff bullshit between America and China. And the rest of the world is just sitting on the sidelines, getting thrown with shit as well. Morning, y'all. I am an illusion. Me too, bro. Me too. I am on day 3 of a fast. I technically started around 9 p.m. on Sunday. So on my way to 3 days. Great time to get into stocks, yeah. If you had money, right? That's the part where I feel kind of limited. It's like, yes, would be the bestest time to buy as many stocks as I can. Too bad I earn $300 a month. All right, ain't gonna be buying no stocks, unfortunately, but that's fine. All right. Again, talking about the illusions. One of the delusions I was under is in believing that all I had to do is show up and try hard, and if I did, then everything will be fine. Right? And I did. I showed up and I tried hard. But I had to come to the conclusion that that was an illusion, right? And I feel what is fine is going to be different from person to person. What is fine to me, as I've shared a little bit earlier, is the ability to do the things that I want to do, right? I'm showing myself that I am at least capable in my day-to-day of teaching myself things so that I may do things in the future. Right, and I feel like that's where the illusion is melting a little bit, because usually it was almost this conviction, let's say, this conviction in my illusions, in my delusions, that I had a certainty in. And I have less certainty now than ever, but I have more, I want to say, direction and focus and grit, maybe. There's a specific word that I'm looking for. I have more patience, maybe. And alongside that patience, also, I'm really, really digging into myself to see how it is I'm feeling. Okay, in so many words, right? Like let me unfold it like this, right? I would like for things to go perfectly, right? And perfectly means having the support to be able to support myself kind of vibes, right? And I believe that if I just did my work would be found valuable eventually, right? And that I feel was a little bit delusional, just a wee bit, right? Not maximum delusional, but at least a little bit delusional. And then in that progress, right, coming to the point that I'm at right now, I realize that there is more things that I can do so that I may in the future feel I can not be as delusional, if that makes sense, right? Let me say it in this way. What I'm doing right now feels less delusional. But in saying that, it instantly makes my eyebrows raise and is like, is it in fact I didn't eat this morning and I've been feeling a fast, just don't want to get hangry. I'm feeling a little bit of that hangriness today, right? Like it's very clear to me that my body is in a low energy state, right? I've been, like yesterday was great. Usually the day of the actual fast, the first day I do of the fast, I don't notice. The second day I feel fantastic. The third day I feel heavy, right? And I'm having that heavy day today. It's like, where, you know, if I don't even know how to explain it. It's almost like I'm aware of the amount of energy there are in my limbs, right? And I'm like aware that I only have so much access to that energy as well. I have to check something. It's nice to have your friends here, right? If anything is an illusion, then maybe this isn't, right? And if this isn't an illusion, then we need to assume it is real. And if it is real, what is the implications of that? Huh? What does it mean? What does it mean for me and you if this is real? To me, it means that there is a certain level of responsibility. We talk about that a lot. It means there is a role I have to play in this world, right? And I think it is very easy to become delusional about the role you think you ought to play, right? In general, I feel like that might be the truth for most people. What role do I want to play? I want to play the role of a helper, ultimately. Lovins to Connor and Kiefer and Lurkers can't stay, but wanted you all to know that you are incredible people, worthy of all of the love and kindness there is, no matter what. Love is true. That's so nice. Thank you, Kristen, for making sure we get to hear that at least once today. It's true. Love is absolutely true. I'm feeling so gooey, like little bits. I haven't vaped today. I have been studying though. I learned about improvement proposals some more and about all of the different improvement proposals that has been had and the process that is followed. And then during that whole process, I actually spent the time to go get VS Code and GitHub Desktop and Dust, Rust, and Akins, DSLs. Yes, I totally know what all of those words mean, totally. But I'm starting. I am starting, right? Like I'm at the point in my courses where I'm like 87% done. So I'm feeling this fractal of like, okay, bro, you're finishing your courses. You better start actually doing something or whatever. Yeah, I'm a little bit disillusioned with my animation and graphic design career. I'm trying to find other avenues that are more accessible. Yeah, it's rough, Connor. I don't even know if it's rough. I want to use profanities. It's fucked up. Right? Like it feels like our souls are being stolen from us, bro, slowly but surely, by this capital world, right? And then you have to hear, bro, like from people that they love capitalism. right? Like I'm kind of here, right, while capitalism is here as well. So it's a matter of I can hate capitalism and try and kill it, but it would be like trying to kill a friend because it has helped some people, I guess, at the very least. But this fractal of feeling valueless in society, right, is very real. Let's say, right, this feels very real. It's like, yeah, it's an illusion. It's all an illusion, but just see, bro, I'm fucking hungry while this illusion is going on. Melt, I feel a similar way in my life. But what I can say about where I am in this moment, I'm guessing there's some more coming. I'm looking forward to finding out what you can say about this moment. I have some cannabis ready for me. I haven't partaken today, so this is going to be the first time for me. And I do, in fact, know it's Wednesday. Yeah, I was literally, we said it at the same time, Kristen. I do know it's Wednesday, but since there's still holes in my face, I don't know if I want to increase my heart rate and blood pressure to the levels that I do, right? I can promise you, I will be spitting blood, like 100%, if I try to dance the way I do. I'll spit blood, and I don't want to spit blood right now, please. Have some mercy. Dances. Dance have been danced still. Please do forgive me for not doing it the full way. Yeah, I hear ya. Okay, bye again. Love you, Kristen. Thank you for letting me know. I do appreciate it. Making sure that I don't forget. How nice of her. Yeah, no, I didn't forget. I made a calculated decision. By next Wednesday, I'm gonna be fine, I'm sure. Why is there holes in your face? I had my wisdom teeth removed. He lost some wisdoms, it's true. I got no more wisdom teethers lefters. And with that, they left me with holes. They took my wisdom teeth and gave me holes where those wisdom teeth used to be. And I thank them. But I need my body to now close those holes. And it takes time. I wonder actually. Hey Google. Hey Google. Yeah, nice. I started using Gemini, and then it borks my freaking ability to talk to my tablet. Nice, nice. We like this. Yeah, this is great. This is fine. This is fantastic. I'm curious, how long does it take for wisdom tooth holes after you had an operation to heal over? Just really thinking about it. Jesse, Brian, like you could have just not gone that deep structuring the answer. You can just tell me like 1 week of breakdown. Oh, initial clot formation happens in the first 48 hours. Right after the extraction, blood clots form in the sockets, and this is crucial for healing. It protects the underlying bone and nerves, and it's vital not to dislodge this clot. Yeah, that's why I've not been using straws or smoking directly. Nice. Then there's soft tissue healing, with the gums close over. In the first week, you'll see the beginnings of gum tissue migrating to close the holes. In 2 to 4 weeks, the gums will significantly close over the extraction site. It might look mostly closed from the top, but there's still healing happening underneath. Up to 6 weeks, sometimes longer. For most people, the gum tissue will be fully closed over the top of the socket by this point. However, you might still notice a slight indentation. Well, the actual bone might take up to 6 months to heal. I doubt. I'm gonna be healed by like tomorrow. I am tempting fate a little bit, but I'm feeling fine. That's the thing that's really taking me aback a little bit, is how fine I feel. Right? Like I've seen multiple people throughout my life have their wisdom teeth removed, and they always complain about the pain and how bad it is. And their faces were ridiculously swollen, and the fact that I'm as fine as I am makes it feel like they didn't actually remove my wisdom teeth. When I, for a fact, know they did. They're not there anymore. But like I'm like waiting. waiting for it to be worse. So in the meantime, I will take my time to understand my issues and work through them so I can be the best version of myself. And my life is going to look drastically different than the current norms. I'm there with you on that one, Kiefer. I feel like our lives are already vastly different to the traditional norms, right? And I'm not suggesting that we need to start becoming more normal, right? I hope that's very clear. That's definitely not my thing. It's more a matter of we need to figure out balance as consciously evolving beings, realizing that it's okay for us to be a little bit disillusioned, but not maximum disillusion, right? And we need to figure out a way to find balance specifically, right? How can I still add value to this world of illusion? Even though it might not be true to me, it's true to someone else. Your holes will fill. No, I'm not gonna read that sentence. What the fuck, dude? Oh, jeeps. We got another gravity bong. That previous one already made me know about it, so this is definitely going to work. Damn it, that's bad. Tastes great though. I'm now in that space of integration almost, where I know that what I'm experiencing right now is not an illusion. And I'm trying to also at the same time bring to you in this moment something of value. Maybe the real illusion is thinking there is any more value to add. You are already infinite. You are already the everything, right? Who am I to think I can add to that? However, the world still expects things of us. Or maybe that's me. All right. Maybe the world doesn't expect anything of me. Maybe it's me expecting things of myself. What do I expect of myself? Maybe that's a good place to start. I do expect myself to show up. That's a big one. That's the one that I don't have any budge on. Right? There's no budge in me whatsoever. I have to show up. Right? And then from that understanding arises questions. If I have to show up, what do I have to show up for? What's the most important things for me to show up for? And as we've showed up day by day, right, we are almost like testing that question. And the answers we've found has been yoga, show up for that, has been conscious evolution, right? And conscious evolution is something you do together. You can consciously evolve alone, but it's easier when you do it together, right? Because all of the ways in which I have consciously evolved up until this point can be shared with you consciously in this moment. And then all that you have consciously evolved to experience and know, you can potentially share with me in this moment. And then there is this like meta mind thing happening as well, where even if you can't directly say all of the things that it is you're thinking, you are still having a whole rich internal experience listening to these words right now. And there is a certain significance in our ability to grow with that as a window, chance, opportunity, add your word here. And then art. Art and poetry is also something I want to show up for. And it seems the new things that I want to show up for is technology. Right? Like I've been in love with technology my whole life. I believe it's an amazing extension to our species. But I've always only been a consumer, technically. I mean, I am technically using my technology right now to create, but I am still a consumer of the actual technology part, right? I'm not making anything. I'm not adding necessarily anything to the actual technology side. And I don't even know if I'll be able to with the current trajectory I'm taking right now, but at least I am closer than I used to be. I am showing up. I'm showing up even if I don't know that it is necessarily going to be the thing for me. I feel like that's something that we get so stuck on as well. Is this the thing for me? Is this my thing? Whatever the thing is. Is this me? It's a loaded question. Everything's you. So it's more a matter of, do I want this thing to be me? And as soon as you start asking that question, the reasoning behind why it is you're pursuing what it is you're pursuing starts making sense, right? And I had a whole few conversations, the little bit of existentialisms we went through a little bit earlier, in these spaces, with the whole fractal of that version of me, right, that was showing up for yoga and showing up for conscious evolution and showing up for art, right? That's the version of me that I wanted to be, as in egoically portray to the world what I wanted the world to see is that version of me. And I felt experientially that trying to be that version of me exclusively will not beget success, right? In the way that I define success, and that is the ability to actually do things in the world. And maybe it will, right? Maybe it's just a matter of access, right, to the right people or whatever. But the way that I see it is that I have to expand who I am. And that looks like showing up for more and more things in your life. Thinking about love right now. Very much so, the romantic kind, right? Not sexual, but the showing up for a partner. That's also something that has changed since I started showing up like this. And it's something that brings me great fulfillment and joy, all right? Makes me very happy that I have someone to love. It's an honor, it's a pleasure, it's something that I never take for granted. I'm getting emotional just talking about it. Who do I want to be? Who do you want to be? Do you ask yourself that question? I think it is kind of inferred. We do kind of assume we know. Or we did at some point. Is it healthy to keep asking the question? We have Gonzala. I see Zhao talking about her, of course. Showing up for the things that promote growth, healing, and most of all, love. Yes. Yes. So much yes. I think I missed a few comments up top. And what I am getting at here is, says Kiefer, I seek to connect with people like you, Melt, and those in this community who want to see us all thrive and hold out pockets of abundance for those of us who pass a purity test for all. It's interesting that you use those words. I even had this whole conceptualization of a kind of Tao a decentralized, organized agency. I'm not actually sure what the A stands for. Yeah. Maybe it's the O stands for organization. Decentralized. Jeez, I'm butchering it. Let me just backtrack a little bit. The original idea was actually more like a holdings account, right? That I imagined in the future, because we're going to all have a lot more, right? I do still believe this, right? For me, and again, I'm not satisfied with being wealthy myself. That to me isn't success. If I got $1 million, right? Guess what I can do in the world? Basically, jack shit. $1 million is nothing. And I'm sounding like an insane person. But that is kind of the truth, right? Trying to save the world with $1 million, you're gonna have a hard time, right? Trying to build homes, you're not gonna get far, unfortunately. So the idea is that it has to be true success in the future for us, right? And I imagine this idea of us getting to a point where, again, the robots are gonna get made, whether I can afford them or not, which is great. And in that way, there will be a scarcity difference, right? We already now have, with our technology, developed true scarcity, and we are at the same time building infinity, essentially, right? Quantum computing, AI, robotics, right? On a scale like never before. And that is happening simultaneously, right? That DNA is kind of like unfolding into our future. And then if we get to a point where we can reach true abundance, as in all of the resources, all of the needs human beings have are actually met, we'll have all of this kind of like network currency as well, right? And I'm calling it network currency because it technically doesn't matter which one you hold, because ultimately all of those networks will be interoperable, interconnected, right? Like there will be peninsulas of networks that allow the interflow of information between all of them. And then, depending on which kind of like microcosm community you find yourself within, you can make yourself a part of a community, right? And the way I see this is almost like a fractal of belief, right? And you can have a certain yield gain attached to it as well, where if you believe, let's say, right, that me with my actions can add value to the world, right, can create something that is more valuable, even if that thing which you create that is valuable is just the ability to have more people believe you have the ability to add value, right? And that can be with your art, or etc., etc., like with anything, right? You can add value in a lot of ways. Like one of my favorite analogies for this is you can add value by having a box full of aloe vera leaves and then walking down a street and asking people if they want aloe vera on their face because it's good for their face, right? Maybe you won't get every single person, maybe you'll get one person a day, but to that one person who wants aloe vera on their face, guess what? You added value. You added value. There's now literally more value in the universe because of your actions. That's pretty cool, right? And in that way, maybe if we figure it out, we get to a point where, we're all truly, I want to say decentralized, right? Every single one of us has the world in our pockets, really. Has the world in our homes, has the ability to bring any part of the world into our homes with really good 3D printers and again, robotics, right? Like that is possible. All of that is very possible and it's not that far away. It's more a matter of technological maturity, right? The technology already exists. It already exists right now. We're living in that world where the technology exists. It's just not mature yet. Right, and again, if we reach a point where every single person is like let's say online with what's going on, right? They understand, yeah, bro, get with it, consciously evolve, or else. And it's not a bad or else. It's more like you're not going to be consciously evolving if you don't, right? Like that's the URL. And then I see this again network effect where we can create these social safety nets, right? Where if you believe, for instance, right, let's use the MeltMore space as a direct example. If you believe in the MeltMore space, you can allocate without, like, and you have something called liquid staking, right? And it will kind of be that vibes. I don't know if it will be implementable like that, and this is just me spitballing as a concept, but you basically, let's say, right, you have wealth, you have equity in your home, you have stocks, whatever, right? All of those things can be tokenized, right? And those tokens can hold certain value in this world. And then without having to directly actually give me that money, you can allocate a percentage of it into this network, right? Adding your value to this space without losing any of it. It's still just as accessible to you. If you had to, right, go and buy yourself something, right, that money that you allocated to this network is instantly transferable to you. But on the network side, that money is now a part of our entirety, right? And there is then this ability to actually start doing things, right? Because then it goes from having $1 million to having billions, right? And when we have billions of dollars, we can build towns and then cities, right? And we can have them on the oceans, and we can consume sunlight, and we can produce our water and food locally, and we can be connected to satellite internet, and we can have robotics and 3D printers, and we will have all of the things the rest of the world has, and we'll be able to create value, right? We won't have to steal land from anybody. We'll create where there was none. These little flowers of technology growing on the oceans. Yes, please. One, please. I would like one. I just want one city. I just want one ocean city, right? I'll be okay. I don't have to have thousands. One is fine. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not asking for that much. Come on, universe. Help a brother out. All right, I'm going to come back. Test for all. Because we are at a point where we can, and anything less is unacceptable, and a dereliction of our duty to our collective self. So, if it looks like I'm waiting, it is because I will not compromise my values for lies anymore. Amen, Mel. You're killing it on the showing up. Yeah, thank you. I'm trusting. I'm trusting it more than anything in my life. More than I've trusted anything in my entire life, I'm trusting showing up. Right, and it is pretty loaded. Right, would be a big bummer. I think, fortunately, right, this is the other side of it. Showing up has already changed my life in ways that I would have wanted it to be changed, right? I used to, and I don't do it as much anymore, unfortunately, but I used to journal a lot, and I used to manifest a lot. And I went and read my old manifestations, and every single one of them have come to fruition. Every one of them, like literally every single one of them. I think the scale that I had imagined is a little bit toned down, but the actual expectations, every single one of my expectations have been met. Right, and that feels kind of surreal. And in that way, showing up has already managed that much in our lives. Right, the amount of love that we've experienced by showing up alone makes it worth it times 1,000. Yoga, conscious evolution, art, tech, yeah. And like I already started the tech skilling with the like doing festival work, but that is like me giving myself a tool in the toolbox of the tech skills that I need, right? That's gonna be almost like the shiny part. while there's like all of this quartz happening behind this thing that just shines a little light. Does that make sense? Maybe not. The way I see it is that there's a lot of technological complexity that then gets output into a projector, for example. And then that projector, simplistically, right, outputs beams of light, lasers. That is significantly easier to do, the process of getting the lasers to output light, than it is to have what's happening before that happens. All right, and I want to, at the very least, support what I believe, if that makes any sense. I think that makes perfect sense. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. So I'm really trying to lean into the things I believe in, more so than ever, right? If I believe in something, I'm like, I'll bet. I'm not going to spend absolutely absurd amount of time of my life doing this. Melt, you make every day, you contribute every day. It's true. And you are delivering all of these things. Thank you, bro, for seeing me. It means a lot. The ability to actually do things in the world, expand who you are. Yeah. Because again, how much you can do in the world is in direct relation to how much you know how to do. Nobody is going to let you do something you don't know how to do, right? Nobody is going to let you do brain surgery on them if you're not the neurosurgeon. They're going to be like, no, thank you. So in that way, brain surgery is not something you get to do. Most of us, at least. And I'm kind of okay with that, right? I don't really want to. I do believe, right? And maybe this is my own hubris, right? I do believe if we had sophisticated enough technology as it relates to VR, right? And it was like hyper realistic, and I could practice for 1,000 hours VR brain surgery, I would be able to do brain surgery too. I believe that every single one of us are capable of that in that way. However, the stakes, right? I feel like the stakes are still going to be insane to deal with. You're giving us the opportunity to show up in your life. It's an interesting way to see it. I think I'm giving both of us the opportunity in that way, Hoopy. Right? As soon as you show up in my life, I have shown up in your life as well, automatically, right? Because it's almost like I experientially don't know that I've showed up in your life until you let me know that until you let me know that you've shown up in mine. You see what I mean? It's kind of a trip like that. Love you too. Ciao. Sending all of our friends some blessings. The inability to change the world, remove suffering, etc. Yeah. Same old, same old. Dow up in each other's lives. Whoopie doopie doo. That's painful to think about every day. Tell me about it. All right. I do experience a significant amount of pain experientially. Right? I am not always, surprise, surprise, happy-go-lucky, everything is great. I am only happy-go-lucky, everything is great, because I make it so. Right? I'm like in a stalemate with death, always. Trying to get the upper hand, right? And I can cry about it or I can smile about it. And for me, it's better. It's better to smile about it. Better to make it fun at the very least, right? I'm not gonna suffer this life. I'm going to experience it. Keep beating the drum, my friend. You are on the path. Why is that painful? It's painful because it feels like an active reminder day to day, at least this is my personal experience, that I'm not where I'm supposed to be, or I'm not where I think I need to be. I'm not there yet. Maybe just that line. I'm not there yet. Right? And wherever there is, who knows? And maybe it is one of those things, you know, like history has warned us through thousands of different pieces of media that if I long for this eventual outcome, I will get it. And then I will find myself disappointed or unsatisfied. However, the thing I want is less suffering, right? I want to, almost like the way I'm trying to formulate this way of seeing it, I want to free us from suffering, not only from a fractal of freeing the actual people that are suffering, but also freeing us, people that aren't suffering to the same degree, from having to suffer, even having to think about the suffering, if that makes sense, right? Selfishly. Because there is definitely, and I've seen it in friends, I tend to not suffer that way. But Christian, for example, Christian's heart is like actually very soft, right? Christian looks like he's, like the bad guy, right? But actually, Christian is a softie, super so, right? And he'll literally ruin his own night. He'll ruin his own time by feeling bad about not feeling bad enough. Right? And that's a very crude way to say it, but it's essentially this guilt that we can feel simply for existing. Right? Like we know that there's so much suffering happening in the world, and then we can experientially compare our own suffering, and then we compare, right, our suffering to other people's suffering. And then we realize that our suffering, in comparison, is not as severe. And then we suffer that. And then we loop. And we loop. Instead of realizing that the best thing we can do is add value. Right? If you're in a better position than someone else, then make sure you add value to other people's lives. That's the only thing that there is for you to do. That is the only thing there is to do, ultimately. Right? At least the only thing that's fun. Maybe that's my own definition of fun as well. I'm thinking about the disillusioned kid that had fun throwing rocks at windows. Right? That isn't adding value. And this version of me doesn't do that, because that doesn't add value. And that to me wouldn't be fun, because I am now aware as an adult. I have grown up. Man, going from being a kid to being a person, huh? It really is a process. Well, wait, Melt, did you just tell us you have a relationship? I don't know if you haven't been paying attention, but me and Jovan have been together for a long time. The Joe Butters, right? For a long, long time. Wrong. It became more like officially, when she actually came to South Africa, right? The 27th of September, if you want dates. And yeah, it kind of feels that way, Hoopy. Is Melt in love? Kind of feels that way, Hoopy. Jovan with her giggle face. Yeah, what would have tipped you off, bro? What would have let you know? It is a matter of, like, I keep it close to heart. All right, I'm just going to keep talking about it. If I'm going to talk about it, then it might be a little bit much. That you could do something only if you could work harder. Yeah, because of the guilt. Yep. The work harder is the trap. You see, I'm not sure about that, Kiefer. I'm not convinced that it is a trap. Because I've been working harder these days, and I prefer it. I prefer working harder over not working harder. And maybe I am like so brainwashed and manipulated and conditioned to the point where my literal neuro makeup and bodily dopamine release has been aligned with working more. But it is a matter of where I'm at right now. You're like, what did I just say? I said that maybe the world has convinced me that I should be working hard. And because of that level of conviction the world has put in me, I'm literally feeling better physiologically. On a physical level, I'm feeling better because I'm working harder. And that, unfortunately, has been something I'm aware of for a long time. If I exercise and I do meaningful work, I feel good about that. It's very hard for me to feel bad about doing the things I'm supposed to do. So yeah, I guess it's just a matter of work smarter, right? Make sure you're doing the things that is important. It doesn't have to be that hard, technically. Because you are indirectly the cause of the suffering. It is a very hard thing to explain. I get it. I think I get it. I did give my perspective of getting it. It is persistent. I follow you because dreaming creates desires that create expectations to let us down. It can. Hey, Veit. Veit is terug. It's nice seeing you, bro. Sending you blessings. I want cities to feel like villages again. I want cities to have blueberry bushes growing as shrubbery. All right, that's what I want. And I want there to be like the equivalents of like street cats, but robots that basically pick all the blueberries and make sure they stay fresh and refrigerated if they're getting close to having to be harvested. All right. The robo street cats harvesting blueberries and feeding the homeless, right? If there shouldn't be any homeless people. Feeding the hungry, right? There will always be hungry people, even if they're not homeless, right? They haven't eaten since Sunday. I would pet a robo kitty for some blueberries right now. Of course, my mind has to do it the worst possible way. Like, how is the robo kitty dispensing the blueberry? Why are you like this? What's wrong with you? We are not bothered by giving it to people who can't earn a subsistence. The guilt causing for me and the complexity of the current society has made it hard for us. The human society could have been much different. It's going to be much different, right? Like, it's going to always be much different. So we just have to kind of like keep breathing and showing up for this, knowing that we're a part of that difference, that change is coming. I want to know the person who makes the things I own. That is the worst part. Well, the thing about the person is it's not a person. It's like thousands of people. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people have hands in everything around us right now. Right? And that to me is beautiful about globalization, is that there's so much collective, effort to make things as they are. The worst part of globalization is detachment and dehumanizing of what it took to build what we have is true. That is the worst part. Conzeller, how we can't control what happens outside of us, but we have a say what happens within us and what we give to those around us. Find the peace in the space we inhabit. Finding the peace in the space we inhabit is work. It's a massive responsibility to not be debilitated by the pain and suffering endured in this world, but to keep shining light in that darkness. You are strong. We are strong. That's so beautiful, Joe. Yeah. It's a massive responsibility not to be debilitated by the pain and suffering endured in this world. I'm feeling like Uncle Ben vibes, Joe. With great power comes great responsibility, right? And the power you have as someone who is not actively suffering is to, as Joe said, bring light into this world. Is that Cable? Cable, I feel like a few times back of me and you being here together, we were talking about wisdom toothedness, right? Mine are gone now. They got removed Monday. And it's been interesting. I feel like I'm literally a different person in a weird way, right? Like I got some sort of freaking boot up or something. Like that, I got put unconscious and I woke up. I woke up like I missed an appointment, kind of vibes. I woke up like, oh no, I fell asleep and they couldn't operate on me or something. And then I looked to the nurse next to me and I'm like, is it over? And she's like, yeah. Right, and I've been very without pain for the most part. And at the same time, there has been this awareness that I removed something that was causing me great discomfort on a base level, right? Almost like there was this input signal being put in my brain, ah, like a scream, like pain. And now it has been removed. And it's quite interesting to see who I am being in less pain. It is something that I'm excited about. I look forward to becoming a better person, always growing, right? It's nice seeing you here, bro. Mm-mm-mm. There we go. Still so much different. Bed, cat, boop. That's a point. But we could have been much different, and we are still not changing it. For example, many people still do things that directly or indirectly hurt other people. In most actions we do, just think about it. In most actions we do. Do you mean like we should think about most of the actions we do? To that I agree. But I don't know if you're saying we're hurting people in most of the actions we do. And we have to think about it. The past is done and we have inflicted a lot of pain on one another over millennia. But it still got us here. Love is still true. I'm happy that Kiefer is echoing that sentiment. We are still the shining goodness in a world that wants us to think it's all dark. Exactly. It's true. Could have been different. But it's also true that the only thing that doesn't change is that everything changes. Yeah. But it's still worser than it should be. Yeah. At some point, murder used to be legal, bro. Just think about that. People used to actually murder each other and get away with it all the time because nobody cared. Right? And we're now at a point where that's no longer okay. We're like, no, you should probably not do that. Stop that. Right? So in that way, things could have been worser. We could have been having like the purge style reality. Once a year, we just like murder each other or something, right? So I'm counting my silver linings. Thank goodness we're not living in the purge universe. Be aware of the unawareness that affects things outside of those making the actions. It is heavy. People are, no offense, like cattle. They literally follow the society. Most people don't think or have the courage to think and oppose the society due to thinking that things are universal truths. Yeah, the collective bias, right? You don't want to say something because you assume the person next to you believes something, and you saying something might make you an outlier, while they also actually are hiding from you the same thing you're trying to hide from them, and all of us are hiding it from each other. It's true. And in that way, right, it is a matter of conscious evolution. It's going to be necessary. We're going to have a communication channel open between us a little bit more. Being afraid of punishment or shame, yeah. This might induce the Dunning-Kruger effect. Everyone is biased. Just think of the past societies. I don't understand why you don't. Put yourself first, Melt. So like there's like two sides of me that instantly I had like, huh? One side is like, you think I don't put myself first? And then the other side of me was like, why do you think? Am I not putting myself first? I don't think I'm not putting myself first. It's more a matter of I'm always first. All right. So it is for me now about putting other people first because I'm already first. And this can be like almost like broken down more simply into I cooked a meal. And while I'm cooking the meal, I'm like, this is nice, and I'm making sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. And then when I want to serve my family this meal, right, I'll serve other people first because I already was first in knowing what the meal is going to taste like, and I'll get mine. I'm not worried. So yeah, that's all of the stuff that arose in me in reading that. I don't think I need to. Maybe that's why I don't. And you don't have a right to take my suffering away. I'm gonna come for your suffering specifically. Your specific. I'm gonna come right for it. Snatch it while you're sleeping. Psychology is a fascinating thing. Many caveman brains out there, but we continue to evolve and shed these old ways. I believe this awareness will be contagious. Even I think so too. Suffering is a part of existence. We cannot escape it. Dream tooth. Why don't I? Humans are societal creatures. We are meant to help each other, unless you desire suffering. Some people do. Is it a second? Is it the second arrow to attempt to escape it? I don't understand. We compare and then we compare instead of realizing the best thing we can do. I think the best way to compare is by doing, right? Notice the difference in yourself. A wise gem said yesterday, how would we see light without the darkness? It's true. At some point, we will get injured. At some point, we will lose our loved ones. And on some point, the earth is going to be consumed by the sun, losing enough mass to expand into a red giant. At some point. All right, I'm not going to base my decision making and my reality based on what's going to happen at some point. All right, I'm going to be walking towards some point every single day. And that point is supposed to be lovingly, ideally. Kiefer, suffering is not eternal. It can be removed. You are correct in that way, but it can be eased exponentially. Would you rather be an aristocrat in the 16th century or a middle-class person now? Yeah, that's a very, to me at least, very easy answer. Like middle-class person now, all day, every day. I don't know if you're heading in the right direction or not, if it's pride or if it's accomplishment. You talking to me? Maybe it's both. Maybe I have to take some pride in myself to actually accomplish something. You know? I wouldn't be surprised if that is exactly what is going to be required of me. But that is the part of what makes life so precious, in that someday this form will cease to exist as we know it and become anew. This is true. It melts more always, right? Dream tooth is just me, or I don't understand you at all, to be honest. It's okay. That seems to be the way it is. Hoopy has a certain way of speaking. Probably my fault, but if you want to convey something, use simple words. This is how the universe works and grows. It is violent, but it's also magnificent. At least that is how I think I understand it today. I mean, violence is again a matter of perspective, right? Was the Big Bang violent? If there was something close by that could get injured, maybe. Explosions usually are violent. However, the Big Bang is something that's magnificent, right? In that way, the expansion, even though it could be to a physical form, violence, right? This transformation. Plant food everywhere, oh yeah. Impermanence is a reality check sometimes. It is a lesson to remind us to be present with what is here and now. The pain in loss is suffering at first, but we might alchemize that energy into gratitude for what was, as long as we don't bypass processing emotions and the lessons that we learned. It's true. I haven't luckily lost that many people in my life. Grandma and grandpa has passed. I never got to meet my other grandma's husband. She's still okay. And it definitely is a matter of I don't really want to suffer that pain. That's why I've become technologically obsessed. I'll make my loved ones immortal before I let them die. Yeah, it's dangerous being loved by me too. Robo Kitty Blueberry Collector, so cute, right? Would be awesome. I felt that I was an animal in a vet shop, confused about everything. I had that experience too, a little bit, right? Like being in the bed, being pushed around, and then being put in a room. The the people that helped me had like really good bedside manner, I think. They like set me at ease and they were making jokes and asking me about my life and whether I'm the black sheep or not, and it was fun. They made me feel at ease. They were competent. That's great. Yeah, it's like getting weight off your back. You'd forgotten you were carrying. Yep, literally like that. Middle class today. You 100%. Gotta get ready for class. Love you, Xiao. Xiao has been continuing her yoga studies under Flossie. Sending you so much love. I don't know. I could reply like this. Oh, you can like hashtag each other and then it like illuminates for each one another. I'm hoping. Almost like a whisper text. It took me forever to figure it out how to tag people in chats. So that is the way. Hashtag name to tag people in chats. I still don't know how to tag in chatting. Uh come get come get my software. Cable. I think it's just the @ symbol and the name pops up. Or maybe I did it wrong. Melt, goodbye message in general. I must bid you adieu again. So much love to you. We've been here for an hour, so it is time. I'm gonna take my arm out here. I'll read you yesterday's poem first. Alrighty. There's yesterday's piece. Alrighty. I really like the way this one looks, but it's because I know what it took to make it look like that. Alright. In the same light. We are all here. Now, the air between us, not divided by time, but by perception. One world seen 1,000 different ways, and each of us a prism. I stood beside my father, shoulder to shoulder, eye to eye, and yet he saw memory, I saw metaphor. He traced lines with logic, I melted into color. Same painting, same silence, entirely different storms. Isn't that what it means to be human? To share space but never the same story? To be tethered to the present but adrift in interpretation? We do not live in the world, we live in our version of it. The same sun warms those mornings and those dancing. The same sun warms those morning and those dancing. The same song heals one heart and haunts another. The same hand can feel soft or sharp, depending on the wound it touches. So I wonder, what miracle allows us this much? Perhaps it is love, not the flimsy kind that needs agreement, but the deep, ancient knowing that even if you see it differently, you are still seeing with me. I can let that be enough. To look together without needing sameness, to listen without the need to correct, to be in awe of the sheer audacity that consciousness took so many forms and still made them capable of standing beside each other in a museum, a street corner, a life. And when you say it looks like a loss, and I say it looks like rebirth, maybe both are true. Maybe that's the point of it all. What a trip, huh? Yossi. Yossi, how are these poems? These poems are reading our brains. These poems are predicting what we're going to be talking about. I'm convinced more and more. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me for these moments. The same thing, or at the hash. Show your dog face, not its butt. Is the dog's face being shown? I can't see on my screen there, unfortunately. I'll have to play my own. You can see face. There's not much I can do to change his positioning. There's not much more room for him. He's knocked out. All right. Now for me to read the goodbye message that has so graciously been sent by Kristen. It goes, have the mostest mirage kiss day, everyone. I wholeheartedly love you all so bewitchingly, curiously, surreally, enchantingly, whimsically, dreamily, mystically, fancifully, translucently, ephemerally, melt, and all of you oh so spell-woven, perception-bending, veil-lifting, mystic-minded, wonder-seeking, soul-gazing, lucid-hearted, mind-dancing, shimmer-eyed, truth-questing friends who see beyond the illusions. I appreciate you, friends, so much for being in these moments here with me. It's always a pleasure, and I'll see you again soon in the horizontal stream in a moment. I love you. Till we do it again. Goodbye for now.